After the White House decided to take control of the police force in Washington yesterday, the focus has been totally on Washington. I get it, but this is more than just a Washington, D.C. story. But first, some background. The federal government taking control of the D.C. Police Department with 800 National Guard troops waiting on standby today because Washington is just not a safe place anymore. Like so many cities across America, but liberals don't see it that way. Because to liberals, the criminals are the victims, not the innocent people they are hurting on a daily basis. To liberals, Tamara Jackam's 21-year-old son getting shot in the head doesn't matter. What does matter is that the worst people in our society are free to express themselves by any means necessary, even if that means murdering innocent people.
I feel like I'm in hell. This is a hell that I never would thought I would experience.
Eric and I were really close. We did a lot of things together. And I just can't even hardly talk about it without breaking down.
My son meant something, and he wasn't a number like Miss Bowser said he was a number. He's number 84.
We are thinking about the Jackum family tonight. To many liberals, charmless phonies themselves, the life of 21-year-old Eric Tarpinium Jackum just doesn't matter. And like magic today, Democrats in unison once again, all tweeting the exact same thing, claiming that crime in Washington is at a 30-year low. Hakeem Jeffries, violent crime in Washington is at a 30-year low. Congressman Robert Garcia, crime is at a 30-year low. Emanuel Cleaver, crime was at a 30-year low in Washington last year. Hillary Clinton, violent crime in D.C. is at a 30-year low. And Congressman Gabe Amo, who I have never heard of, crime in D.C. is at a 30-year low. And on cable news, Jamie Raskin was saying the exact same thing.
Referring to a provision in the D.C. Home Rule Act, which allows him to declare a police emergency relating to a federal matter, they haven't defined what the emergency is, especially with crime rates at a 30-year low. This looks to me like an emergency which is manufactured.
They are such a weak party right now. The other problem, of course, with all of this is that it's just not true. In reality, this is just another example of what the Democratic Party has become, a boring, tired group of empty people who are about as in touch with you, the American people, as your average North Korean. In reality, crime in D.C. and in so many other cities across this country is the worst it has been in most of our lifetimes. In 2023, homicides in D.C. were at a 30-year high. Homelessness right now is at an all-time high in a city that families visit every summer and all year long from all over the country to see the sights and enjoy our nation's capital. But they can't do that anymore because what liberals have allowed that city to become, the third world. And that is a tragedy. Take a look.
We're getting rid of the slums, too. We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live. We're going to be removing homeless encampments from all over our parks, our beautiful, beautiful parks, which now a lot of people can't walk on. They're very dirty, we got a lot of problems. It's a very, very strong reflection of our country. And when they see a bad city, you know, my father always used to tell me, I had a wonderful father, very smart, and he used to say, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in, because if the front door is dirty, the kitchen's dirty also. Same thing with the Capitol. If our Capitol's dirty, our whole country is dirty.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Almost something called common sense. If the Capitol's dirty, the whole country's dirty because the Capitol is a reflection of our entire country. That's common sense. But every single week, we have more proof of the Democrat Party being anti-common sense, being against making something better or safer or nicer. The mayor of Washington should have issued a statement yesterday thanking Donald Trump for his help, but she didn't because Donald Trump will always be the enemy to these people, always, no matter what. The other really important part of this story is that the largest police union in Washington, D.C. supports Donald Trump. The head of that police union saying, quote, "We completely agree with the president that crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done with it." The head of the largest police union in Washington just said that the police in Washington want help, but the liberals running that city still don't see it that way. And this is happening all over the country. Like so many cities across America, cities that were once destinations, cities that were once beautiful, cities that were once safe, have turned into something that you thought you would only see in the movies, in your worst nightmare. And New York City, where we are right now, might be the very worst of all. If you've traveled to this city recently, this is what it looks like. We sent one of our producers out today, broad daylight, middle of the day, Midtown Manhattan, the busiest part of New York City during the week. And we did this because whenever I leave the city, family, friends, people don't believe me when I tell them how bad it really is. You cannot walk down a single city block anymore in New York without being harassed or solicited. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not what Frank Sinatra sang about. It's the opposite. It's awful. And without seeing something and saying something about it, nothing's going to change. And take a look at this. All of this we shot today, and then we saw this. One of our city's newest street performers, unlicensed, begging for money, doing this. Honey, I don't have my wallet. Do you have any change or big bills, like 20s? Or do you have a $50 bill maybe? Or this guy, look, I know talent when I see talent. And this guy or gal, I'm not sure what that was, has got talent. That's all over the place in New York City now. That's how bad it's gotten. That's not a performer. In the old days, the guy would juggle, and then he'd take another one and he'd juggle, and then he'd grab another one and he'd juggle, and you're sitting there and you're like, this is gonna drop eventually, but I'm here with it. I'm here with you for this. Not that guy. What was that? Is he barking out in the streets dressed up like an idiot? That's how bad it's gotten, to the point where healthcare CEOs are being shot in Midtown in the early morning hours, and insane maniacs are walking into skyscrapers on Park Avenue and blowing people away. To anyone who thinks it's not that bad, guess what? It is that bad, and it's not just New York, and it's not just Washington. And what Donald Trump just did in Washington is only the start, as America takes back America, because right now, today, the safety of everyday Americans is at risk from the worst people in our society, and that shouldn't be an open-ended question.